Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to be going through the Supreme Arena defenses I came up with for this week. We're going to lead it off with the free-to-play team number 1, which is going to be the Bonnie to debuff enemies and Nero and even Satrana to spread the debuffs onto further enemies. We do have the Graveborn Phantom giving Spirit Mark onto Bonnie because we're going to be having Bonnie's debuffs trying to go onto as many of the enemies as possible to get that boosted damage from the Graveborn Phantom. We also have Thorin here just as a good Graveborn tank to protect the Nero in the back, and we have Lily May to interrupt an enemy. We have the Earthshell Swell, which I think is really important. That gives us more survival, damage reduction, which will be important for a comp like this. And yeah, so this is going to be making good use of Satrana in a team. It also is going to be basically allowing you to run a secondary Graveborn team, even if you don't have Shadewing. Because my idea for the free-to-play team lineup is for players who do not have Shadewing, and I think that this is going to be a great option that you can basically run. So that is the whole idea behind this team number 1. Let's move on to team number 2. Team number 2 will be a secondary Graveborn team, but it will be using Siren as the actual Spirit Mark target for the Graveborn Phantom, because Siren also has team-wide debuffs onto the enemy side, and that is going to basically maximize the Graveborn Phantom damage. But on top of this, we have Damon. First of all, he's going to be up front buffing up Theodore. It's a bit of an awkward positioning because this map, the maps honestly this week were difficult to come up with like a good positioning because they've been pretty awkward. But yeah, Damon in front of Theodore. Theodore going to boost energy of Siren. We have Ludovic here just for more healing and another strong Graveborn, and we have Callan. Now, I think now is about the time that probably quite a few people do have Callan as Supreme Plus, even with the skill upgrade, which will make him great to run for a comp like this. But even if you don't have Callan at Supreme Plus yet, even if he's like lower Ascension, you can still use Callan. It can be fine. But if, for example, you don't want to use him at all, you can replace it for some other Graveborn hero. That is also a fine option, but I just think Callan has a lot of synergy here, more protection. Now this map effect is going to be more protection onto your rearmost 2 ranged allies. So for this team it will be Siren and your Phantom. We're going to be even more protected, which is great because they could be at a risk of dying otherwise. And so overall, great synergy team here. We also have the Bulwark spell because there's a lot of shielding going to be going on in this team with Theodore to him and his lieutenant. We have Damon shielding and we have Callan shielding. And this Bulwark spell is just going to go off onto Damon in the front. So this is going to be a great team number 2 you can run. Now team number 3 is going to be the Pandora comp. And we're going to be running it with the Wilder because Wilder has a lot of synergy. First of all, you're able to run Iron here to take an enemy Lily May interruption. We have Almas, who's a really good Wilder tank. And if you've been playing AFK Journey for a while, you probably do have Almas built, maybe even Paragon upgraded. So Almas is going to do that well. And then we have Ravion, another really strong PvP hero to basically buff up the attack of your rearmost hero, and that is going to be the Shamira, who is also going to go in the Pandora box and who is also being buffed up by the Blue Mother, basically ultimate damage. So Shamira is going to hit like an absolute truck when she comes out of the Pandora box. So that is the whole game plan. And we have Pandora in a position that she's not going to be easily targetable and killed early on. And Star Shower spell just to ramp up the damage as much as possible. So this is going to be a great, basically, team number 3 and a good overall free-to-play set of teams. We will now move on to the mid-level of teams. Now for the mid-level of teams, we do have a change using Shadewing. And Shadewing is going to be a great option. And in fact, you can use Shadewing even on this team, even if he isn't fully built up. Like, even if he's Mythic Plus, I don't know if below that, like, he can also work. I just don't know if it'll be the best option for you. But even Mythic Plus, that is a fine point to begin using Shadewing in like a team like this. And this Shadewing has great synergy with the Graveborn Phantom because right from the beginning of the match, he is going to debuff all of the enemy team and going to ramp up your Graveborn Phantom damage as much as possible. We again have Lily May for interruption. We have Ludovic for healing. We have also the twins in this comp because they can buff up the Graveborn Phantom and Bonnie further. There you basically have it. But if you wanted to go for a team with Satrana rather than the twins, you can also give that a try as well, just like how we laid out the team for the free-to-play team number 1. But I think this is overall going to be a bit better, and Earthshell spell again for the protection. So this should be a really good team 1 option, making good use of the Shadewing Graveborn Phantom synergy. Now, team number 2 is going to be very similar. However, rather than, compared to the free-to-play team, rather than Ludovic, we're going to have Nero. And Nero definitely is going to synergize so much better with this team because Nero will take a Lily May interruption from the enemy if needed, and that will allow your Siren with Theodore combo to go off really easily, and freely. And that is a massive damage combo. We have the Graveborn Phantom also being buffed up by Nero Charm so that it hits even harder. And again, we have Callan for that additional protection and Bulwark Spell with the Damon up front just because the positioning is a bit awkward. And this was the best positioning I could come up with. And again, your Siren and Graveborn Phantom are going to be protected by this map effect. So this is going to be a really good team number 2. Definitely should work out very well for you. Taking good advantage of the Graveborn Phantom. And finally, team number 3, exactly the same as the free-to-play team number 3, which is the Pandora Shmira combo with the Wilders. Iron to take an enemy Lily May interruption, Blue Mother to buff the ultimate damage of Shmira, Ravion buffing Shmira, and then you have your Pandora is here very well protected with the Star Shower spell. So that is going to be it for the mid team. And before we move on to the pay-to-win teams, guys, if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus Dragon Crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for your support. Okay guys, so we have the pay to win team number 1, and looking at this you may be like, what is going on here? This looks like a mess. I will explain it, but first of all, I just have to say this map number 1 for this week in Supreme Arena is a really difficult map to actually arrange your team around because it's just the most awkward shaped up map. Anyway, we have done a pretty good job. So what we have here is we have Graveborn Phantom synergy with Ulna, because Ulna also has a haste debuff onto the entire enemy team right from the beginning of the match, and this will definitely work out well. We also have Damon buffing up your Graveborn Phantom so that he's protected and also hits harder. We have Bonnie off to the left where she won't easily be targetable, and just for some more debuffs onto the enemy team, just so that we can hit a little bit harder and, debuff those major damage, like your rearmost damage threats on the enemy side. We also have Ludovic just to complete the 3 Graveborns here, and also he's just going to provide more healing, more sustenance for the team. And then we have Ulna Celise combo here, which is actually very strong because Celise is going to be very well protected. She's almost definitely going to get her ultimate off. She's going to provide healing, attack buff for your whole team. And basically, this whole team is going to be very tanky and very difficult to take down, especially with the Earthshell spell, that bonus damage reduction that we're getting. And that is the whole idea behind this team, and the Graveborn Phantom is just going to nuke them down over time, and you can maybe even spread your Bonnie debuffs with the synergy between Sleaze, Damon. They all deal magical damage to the enemies to spread the Bonnie debuffs. Even Ludovic, he also deals magical damage. So that is basically what we have for team number 1, and I have it positioned in a way that Ulna can actually sneak around this side and actually get into the battle, because otherwise, like, you're completely walling off the Ulna on this left side because you have all these ranged heroes. Okay, moving on to team number 2. Team number 2 is going to be our Marcel. Finally, I'm bringing out Marcel in Supreme Arena, and I was kind of waiting for I would have even brought it out in previous weeks, honestly, but in the previous weeks, I was running Dunlinger Collins with Solis because of the map effect, the healing map effect. But now that we have, ranged defense, we have a map effect which works for any ranged carry, and it's going to work well for Marcel. But yeah, time to bring out basically a Marcel comp. Gunner will do great with Marcel, obviously providing those buffs to the Marcel are very valuable. We also have Skyclaws providing an attack buff onto Marcel. We have Callan just for shielding, protecting the whole team. We have Kulu for range defense buff on the whole team and also walling up. And we have Dunlinger providing a buff to Marcel as well, and also allowing her to cast her ultimate. We have the Bulwark spell, which is going to massively shield this Dunlinger because everyone else on the team shields a lot. Gunner's going to shield a lot to all allies behind him, which is everyone apart from Dunlinger, and then Callan's going to shield a lot right from the beginning of the match. So that is the whole idea behind this team comp. Marcel is going to be very well protected, very difficult to kill, and we also have even a defensive sort of artifact choice, so Dunling will be difficult to kill, but Marcel has a lot of damage. She doesn't need a damage related artifact. She is going to nuke the enemy team and basically help clean up for you. So let's go ahead and move on to the final team number 3. So team number 3 is finally, I'm making the debut of Zoria. So Zoria, I got to Paragon 4 shortly after last week began, and then I did testing with her in duel battle, and even in clash fronts. And I'm really impressed with this team of 5 I have fielded right now. I'm also running this team in clash fronts, obviously a different formation because this map is not the same. But this team is doing very well for me in clash fronts, and actually with this artifact as well. So we'll break it all down. Alicet is a very good ally for Zarya because she provides an additional life to Zarya. So what will happen is, Zarya, as you guys know, she's going to be dormant at the beginning of the battle. Then she's going to come into battle. And be in battle for, like, you know, up to potentially it could almost 20 seconds, right, if she's not killed during that time frame. But usually she is going to be killed. Okay, so that's fine. She'll be killed. She'll go back into her dormant state for another 12 seconds. Then she'll come back. She'll be alive again. And then when she's in her this next life, she is going to then trigger the Alicet, you know, protection, and that's going to buy her more time, basically more survivability, and then potentially even stalling out long enough to enter a third dormant state. And the whole idea behind Zarya is that you just want to stall out the opponent, because you're going to use Zarya in a stall comp, and Alicet basically is the best amplifier to make Zarya stall even more effectively or even longer. And then we pair it up with Athalia, who's going to be dealing damage throughout the whole duration. We pair it up with the Greyborn Phantomal, that even if the Greyborn Phantomal dies, Greyborn Phantomal still has damage ticking on the enemies from some of his skills, right? So if we take a look at it here, taking magical damage equal to 180% per second. So this is going to be, that's still going to be high damage, right? Shadewing is going to debuff them so that they're going to take even more damage. And then we have Thorin, who is going to tank really well and, again, work well with our stall strategy that we have here. So that is a whole game plan behind this team. But as always, any Graveborn comp plus Shadewing, with Shadewing being buffed by the Phantomal, is going to do very well for you. You don't even need to have, for example, Zarya here. It's just a good option, right? Like, and actually the best option with what options I had left. But for example, if you wanted to go for another Stroller, you could replace Zarya for Igor here. Like, I mean, Igor is still going to be amazing, definitely, and also has synergy with Alicet, but Zarya is going to be, like, yeah, on another level. So this was the best way I was able to make Zarya work, which is that you want to use her with a Greyborn Phantomal, which makes her very seasonal related. I don't know in future seasons how well she's going to do. And you want to use her with Athalia, who's going to keep dealing damage as long as you have surviving allies, so even in the dormant state of Zarya. And Thorin, and this is going to be with the Rockbind spell. So Rockbind spell is actually also really interesting, a pretty good stat distribution, and like 6 seconds into the battle, it's going to petrify enemies, dealing pretty high damage. The damage is pretty decent, and also, yeah, causing them to, for like 2.5 seconds to not be able to do anything. And that's also feeding into our stall strategy, and also maybe, you know, that can buy us enough time to actually nuke some of the enemies. So that is a whole game plan that we have here. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for my Supreme Arena defenses for this week. Hopefully, it is helpful and you, they work well for you. If you have any other team ideas you have in mind, you can go ahead and share your formation ID in the comment section. Other people can try them out, and maybe they will be a better option, and that's always appreciated, because that sharing can actually help others out who may want other options to run for Supreme Arena. So thank you guys for watching. That is going to be it for this video, and if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight Store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.